Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the training sessions with Debaters of India. I'm Ishani Agarwal, the President of Debaters of India, and along with me, I have.
Naisha, and I'm the head of social media for Debaters of India.
And in today's training session, we are going to be discussing motion burdens or different types of motions, wherein we'll be covering five different types of motions. So, without further ado, let's begin.
Okay, so the first type of motion is a principal motion, also known as this house believes that motion. So in a debate competition, you'll see these as THBT as the short form for this house believes that. So these motions revolve around a debate where there's an idea which can be focused from different viewpoints, wherein you're either supporting it or you think that this is not true. So in these type of motions, you can go ahead and say that we concede to the fact that in some areas, side proposition or side opposition is right, but there are other things which are needed more or have a better impact. That is why we believe that our side stands for this. So you can do the weighing in this type of motion. You can compare which is more needed, and then you can go ahead and stand for whatever side you're on. So this also involves a rational viewpoint wherein you don't necessarily need to have a policy or practical approach where you need to give justified examples. You can even just logically think about this type of motion and give your arguments about saying whether you believe this is true or not. Then so both sides are arguing on one thing. So let's understand this via an example. Let's say this house believes that space exploration is a waste. So both sides concede to the fact that one of them say that space exploration is a waste and the other says that space exploration is not a waste. So for example, side opposition can say that we concede to the fact that space exploration has had whatever harms, but today, like, we need the internet, it is a necessity. Hence, sure, some people have had medical conditions as well, but we also got a lot of things without which we could not survive today. So these in these debates, you practically need to think about what is happening in the current status quo, and you can go ahead and play with the stakeholders. So let's say instead of just saying that an education type of motion, instead of just saying that the school is a stakeholder, you can show how the printing companies are going to be affected. So you can play around with the stakeholders, dig deep into what the motion says, look at the questions which are who, what, why, and answer those. Over to Ishani.
All right, so moving on to the next type of motion, we have the this house supports or this house opposes motions. Now, one fundamental thing we must understand when we're dealing with this house supports and opposes motions is that you have to fully commit to one stance. You either completely support it or you completely oppose it. There's no half measures. Over here, like in THBD motions, as Naisha explained, you can still concede to the fact that prop or op might be right and wrong on certain things. Here, you have to completely commit to your stance. You can't cherry pick certain things. There's no midway measures in such a debate. Let's understand this through an example. For example, you have a motion. This house opposes the commercialization of culture and heritage. So, if you're prop and you're saying, yes, we oppose the commercialization of culture and heritage, you completely oppose it. That means that no particular cultural site, no heritage monument, etc., can be commercialized. You stick completely to opposing the commercialization. But on the other hand, if you're opposition, and you're supporting the commercialization of culture and heritage, you cannot say that it commercialization is not okay in certain circumstances, but it's okay in others. You have to fully commit to your stance. That's something that is fundamental to what this house supports and this house opposes motion. One more thing that adjudicators look out for in THS and THO motions is that you need to clarify the consequences of your position. So you need to look at impacts. So here weighing becomes very important where you're comparing both the worlds. So you do a likelihood or an unlikelihood analysis where you weigh the impacts. You talk about what the impacts look like on your side of the house and what they look like on the opposition side of the house. You also end up discussing symmetrical and asymmetrical harms and benefits, which gives you a very 360-degree case and perspective. So, that is also something which is very important in this house supports and opposes motions. Another motion of this kind for practice is this house supports the universal right to be forgotten. This was also a motion which was used in the prelims of the Harvard Invitational Debate 2023. So, if you end up doing the case prep for this debate, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Debaters of India and share it with us, and we can probably discuss it. So, now moving on to the next kind of motion, Naisha will be explaining the regret motions.
Okay, so coming on towards the regrets motions, also known as the THR motion, standing for This House Regrets. So these debates are mostly about the past, where you're regretting something which has happened, or you understand the benefit of whatever particular event which has happened in the past. This can either be a policy which happened in the past and led to a drastic effect on the future on the present today, or whatever happened in the past, you say that we leave it there and focus on the present. So in these type of debates, as Ashani said, in the THS and THO motions, there is no halfway. You either regret it and say that no, this shouldn't have happened and this has led to ABC, or you say that yes, we do not regret what happened and it has a positive impact on in the present world today, because of ABC, right? And in this debate, a counterfactual is very important. So, for example, side proposition is going to say that um, we should have teenagers at the forefront of social movements because of whatever reasons. So, side opposition needs to come in and give a counterfactual resulting upon whatever negative impacts which have on the positive impacts which have happened due to teenagers being at the forefront of social movements, right? So this motion will look like this house regrets the teenagers being at the forefront of social movements. So side proposition is going to come up and say that teenagers should not be at the forefront of social movements because they have lack of experience, right? While side opposition needs to come and completely disagree with that and say that no, teenagers should be at the forefront of social movements because they are the youth which has to lead the country further on, and hence they should have the experience, right? Because everyone has a first day and everyone starts, whether they are teenagers, whether they're not teenagers, whether they're old, young, everybody has their own first days. Uh, Thirdly, we come upon how the government argues for their own counterfactual and explains why it should be preferable. So, side proposition comes in and says that no, our counterfactual is better because yes, while we do agree that experience is required, in today's status quo we cannot let teenagers be at the forefront of these movements because of the conditions right now. So you focus on what the current world looks like. You say that the current world is not what it was back then. There are crimes, there are a lot of there are a lot of cases happening with teenagers, especially right now. Hence, we don't want to focus on experience, and right now safety of these teenagers is more important, right? Because once you're at the forefront of a social movement, you will have eyes on you. If you take one wrong step, the media is against you, the people are against you, people in masses are against you, the politicians are against you. So we don't want children to become politicians, right? So that's what you focus on. While opposition defends the status quo, they say that no, unless we try new things, you'll never know what is right and what is wrong, right? Even today, children are being accused for things they haven't done. So what if we give them that power, like Greta Thunberg right now? We need to work, we need to try new things to even know if they will be successful or not. So in the end, regret motions you basically need to either say that no, it was wrong, we disagree with this, or you need to say that yes, it was right and it has a positive impact. You need to look at the status quo right now and say why it is needed or not needed, and you need to give a counterfactual. Okay, over to Ishani.
All right, now coming to the next type of motions, we have the THP motions or the prefers motions. Now, here, as the name suggests, you're talking about preference. So, you debate upon either proposing or opposing a better option than what we currently have. So, it's the policy or what the world will look like after the implementation of a particular change or a policy versus status quo, which is what we currently have, the world we're currently living in. So, this house essentially deals with an alternative scenario. So, the team which is preferring the alternative scenario essentially defends that alternative scenario, and the team which is opposing the alternative scenario essentially defends the status quo. So, the team will present an alternative scenario and compare and contrast it to the status quo. Essentially, what becomes very important here is a harms and benefits analysis. So if you're defending the alternative scenario and saying that the alternative scenario is better than the status quo, then you talk about why the benefits of the alternative scenario outweigh its harms, and vice versa if you're going on the other side. So you say that the world that you are supporting and defending is better, achievable, feasible, and more superior, and why it does benefit to all stakeholders involved. Now, a side proposition or government, what you have to do is that you argue for the alternative world, showing its benefits. Let's take an example here. This house prefers a parliamentary system over a presidential one. So, side proposition is going to talk about the benefits of a parliamentary system over a presidential one, talking about how in a parliamentary system you have elected representatives. The people are more involved in their own governance, so you talk about how the system is more inclusive, accommodative, how it's more closely associated with the democracy, and why these outweigh the possible harms of a parliamentary system over a presidential one. But the opposing side here is going to defend the presidential system, and it's going to talk about what are the benefits of a presidential system. So here they basically pinpoint the harms of a parliamentary system. For example, a parliamentary system might lead to a lot of delays because under a parliamentary system, a lot of people have to be consulted, as compared to a presidential system, which is more quick and by extension may be more efficient in certain circumstances. So the opposing side is going to defend the presidential system without introducing any new alternative for comparison. Now, this is very important. While side proposition is going to propose the alternative scenario and defend that, the opposing side has to defend the status quo. The opposing side or the opposition cannot introduce a new alternative. So you cannot bring in a monarchy or a third form of government into question for comparison. You only defend the status quo without introducing another alternative for comparison. Now, the last type of motion is the actor motion, which Naisha will explain.
Okay, so an active motion looks like this house as dash will do what ABC. So in a debate, let's just understand this motion with an example as that would be easier. So this house as a developing country would prefer taking loans from China rather than Western countries. So in this type of motion, the actor is a developing nation as they are the ones acting upon the situation. They are the ones who need to take the step towards whether they want to take loans from China or from Western countries, right? So it is up to the actor. Now, inside proposition, what's happening is that the developing nation is preferring to take loans from China, while on opposition, you completely need to disagree and say that no, we don't think that these nations should be taking loans from countries like China. They should be taking loans from Western countries. And then you support them by giving your three arguments or three layers of analysis by answering the five W's: the who, what, when, where, and how. And then the four W's in the one H. And then you say, and then on side proposition, you say that no, this is completely flawed because we should take loans from China because of how their economy is flourishing and because they have the conditions to give us these loans or for whatever A, B, C, D reasons, right? So then you need to consider the factors and analyze the knowledge or the values or abilities of the actor. So let's say aside proposition or government, you need to see the values, the abilities of a developing nation. You need to see what they require at that particular moment. You need to see what their needs are, what their knowledge about that particular subject is. So and then on side opposition, you need to analyze how developing countries should not be taking loans from countries like China. So you understand the history of that particular developing country according to that motion, according to whether you support the motion or oppose the motion. Now, in an active motion, this can either have a practical approach to the argument or a principle approach. A practical approach is when you logically think about it and say, no, these are the reasons. And a principle argument is when you have the evidence or the proof towards whatever you are saying. So you can back this up with examples as well. Well, in practical emotions, practical arguments, it's just your knowledge about the subject. It's what you think about it. It's what practical approaches. Like you say practically that no, like countries like ours, countries like India need this money. They need it from, of course, when developing countries need money, they need it from developed nations, right? And China is a developed nation. It stands on its own feet. It has proper conditions for people to live, and is excelling. It lives in the future, as people say. So that is why we should take these loans from China. While inside opposition, you say practically that no, if there's India already has a bad history with China, and the past cannot go unnoticed. We cannot just forget the past, right? So this will lead to even more conflicts, and rather countries like ours or developing countries being undermined under countries like China while they're being placed on a pedestal. So that's why we agree that India does not, not India, but developing countries, any such countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, they don't have any fight or any personal issues with Western countries or a war which has occurred, right? So it makes them not undermined under countries like these. Well, when they're taking loans from Western countries, there is a balance because they're just taking help. So we cannot let the past go unnoticed. So in short, active motions is just when a particular motion, this can when a particular nation or a particular thing or a particular person is taking hold of the entire debate, and according to the history of that particular thing, you either support it or oppose it. You oppose whether loans should be taken from China or Western countries according to that particular developing nation, according to that developing nation's ideas, abilities, values, and beliefs. So over to Ishani. That was our last type of motion.
So that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope that this helped you. If you have any other feedback for us, then please do reach out to us, and we will be more than happy to accommodate it. And we hope to see you all soon.
Thank you.